This thing right here is the jar of names. Each week I pull out a name and I thank that person for sticking around. This week we say thank you to Eli Gannon, and if you want to get your name in this jar of names, all you have to do is just keep commenting on Cup of Adventure videos. This week we're following my mum's recipe for something called sticky chicken. Right, we'll need a chicken first then. Or an egg. You have the egg first, that's where the chicken comes from. But then if you don't have a chicken, where does the egg come from?
Hello?
Are you in the shop?
Yeah.
Can you get me some chicken, please? We usually serve this with some homemade egg fried rice as well, sometimes some prawn crackers, so we'll be making some egg fried rice today as well. Anyway, let's start with what you're going to need. 2 tablespoons of dark soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, 2 chicken breasts in strips, a handful of peas, 1 egg, beaten, 200 grams of rice, and this will serve 2 people, namely me and Purple Cookies. Step 1, before you start anything else, put a pan onto the hob on a high heat and fill it with water to just over halfway and leave it to boil, and then by the time that happens you should have enough time to do the rest of step 1, which will be to add the dark soy sauce, then the honey, and then finally the balsamic vinegar, and then mix it all together. It's the honey that makes this a little bit more difficult than it usually should be because obviously it sticks to the pan. Then add the chicken strips into this mixture. Then when the chicken's in the mixture, sort of coat it by mixing it all around and make sure it's all over the chicken. And then you have to leave it to marinate for 30 minutes. And while we're waiting for that, we'll start with the rice. Step 2, round about this time, the water in the pan should be roughly boiling. So what you want to do is season it to taste by putting in a bit of salt. And then add in the rice. Now wait until it comes back to the boil and turn it down onto a simmer and leave it for about 10 to 15 minutes. But once that's done, remove it from the heat, pour it into a colander and drain the water from the rice, and then leave it until you need it later on. Step 3, this is where it starts getting a little bit more difficult because you're going to be doing multiple things at once. But the first thing you're going to do is put on a frying pan onto a medium heat and spray it with some, it's like spray oil, I suppose you put oil in as well. And then into that frying pan you're going to add the chicken and some of the sauce, not a lot of sauce, just a little bit. Mix it around a little bit so it's all spread apart, and you're going to stir it occasionally while you're making the rice. Speaking of, now you're going to take a wok and put it on the hob onto a medium heat as well, and again spray it with some spray oil or normal oil, and place in the handful of peas. Now here you're just trying to cook the peas, which usually takes about 3 minutes. But don't forget to keep stirring the chicken. But when the peas appear to be about cooked, you're going to add in the beaten egg into the middle of the wok. Now what you're going to do here is with a spatula you're going to try and mix it around and keep it moving so that it sort of scrambles into like scrambled egg, and after a few moments you're going to mix in the peas as well and mix it all together. So we'll say it's about another minute after that. And again, don't forget to stir the chicken every so often. Then add the rice that you cooked earlier into the wok, and you're basically just trying to heat it up a little bit now and mix it all together. So mix it with the egg and the peas, then add some soy sauce onto the rice just to give it a little bit of colour. I would have added a little bit more onto my rice, but I had a backseat chef and my mum was telling me it was fine when it wasn't. And then after she said, oh, you should have put more in, but she said not to. Logic. But after the rice has been in the wok for about 2 to 3 minutes, so roughly about 7 minutes in total, it should be ready. So remove it from the heat, and by this time, remember you should have been stirring the chicken every so often. By this time the chicken will be ready because it takes about 7 minutes as well, and then you're simply done and you just have to dish it all up. But overall, how well did it turn out? Surprisingly, not too bad. The chicken I left a little bit longer the strips than what we usually have, and that actually seemed to work out a little bit better. However, I did need more soy sauce in the rice. It was a little bit too, I want to say plain. It just needed a bit more soy sauce, but like I said, backseat chefs. And of course you don't have to have it in with rice. You can have the sticky chicken with something else like noodles, or I suppose maybe you can add it to a pie, maybe. But let me know what you think. Have you made it? Will you make it? What did you think of it? That sort of thing. And one more thing before we go as well. There is a hidden film reference today throughout the video, so if you know what it is and figured it out, then please let me know. But until the next time we meet, you can do whatever you want with this video. You can like it, you can share it, or you can tell everyone that no one escapes from Tweedy's farm. Next time on Cup of Adventure.